class. Today we shall do the properties of indifference curve. There are four main properties of indifference curve. First is an indifference curve slope downward from left to the right. As yesterday also we have drawn the curve left to the right. You can see the curve also. This is IC curve and it is shape, all of you can see here, left to the right. The second property, an indifference curve is convex to the origin. Then the third property, higher indifference curve yields higher satisfaction. Then fourth is two indifference curves never intersect each other. They may be parallel to each other but never intersect each other. Now we shall start the detail one by one. The first is the slope of IC curve downward from left to right. An indifference curve slopes downward from left to right. The reason that if a consumer consumes more of one commodity, he must consume less quantity of the other. As yesterday in the table we have done, when he was taking more quantity of clothes, then less quantity of food he was taking because he has to maintain balance. That's why less quantity of one commodity and more quantity of other commodity. Then the consumer will prefer new combination to the original one because the new combination will give him more utility. It means more satisfaction. As yesterday we have seen, from A to B, from A combination to B combination when he comes, he is taking more quantity of food and more quantity of clothes. Therefore, these two combinations will not lie on the same indifference curve. Okay, all of you understood? Slope downward from left to the right. Reason, again I am telling you, if a consumer consumes more of one commodity, he must consume less quantity of the other because he has to maintain balance. After this, we come on the second heading. An indifference curve is convex to the origin. The slope of the indifference curve decreases. All of you can see the slope of the curve decreases as we move down the indifference curve. This follows from the assumption of diminishing marginal rate of substitution. As in previous class we have seen the table. X combination, we have seen various combination A, B, C, D, and he is taking two commodities, food and clothes. In that we have seen 1:3, 1:2 and 1:1. It means diminishing marginal rate of substitution. The slope of the indifference curve shows the marginal rate of substitution because it indicates the rate at which the consumer is willing to substitute one good for the other. The assumption of diminishing marginal rate of substitution implies that the slope of the indifference curve must be decreasing from left to right. Then the third heading, higher indifference curve yields higher satisfaction. Higher indifference curve represent those combinations which yield more satisfaction than the combination on the lower indifference curve. As all of you can see here, IC3 will give you more satisfaction in the comparison of IC2 and 1. 2 will give more satisfaction in the comparison of 1 and 3 will give him more satisfaction in the comparison of 2. That's why the heading, all of you can observe here again, higher indifference curve yields higher satisfaction. Then the fourth heading, this is two indifference curves never intersect each other. An important property of indifference curve is that they may lie close to each other, they may be parallel to each other, but they never intersect. If the two indifference curves intersect each other, this would imply that a combination of two goods corresponding to the point of intersection would give two different level of satisfaction, which is absurd. Okay, I think all the four headings all of you understood. First, downward from left to right. Second, convex to the origin. Third, higher indifference curve yields higher satisfaction. And fourth is never intersect each other, means may be parallel to each other, may be close to each other, but never intersect. I think all of you understood all